Gee whiz.
Hello, friends. My name is John Henderson. Welcome to this series of old-time radio show episodes called Gee Whiz. These are the stories of the schemes, trials, and loves of the typical American teenagers, Andy Hardy, Archie Andrews, and Henry Aldrich. This episode of The Aldrich Family aired a day before the Office of Price Administration was granted permission to begin food rationing. So a couple of months after this, sugar was rationed. Then the following year, meat and canned goods were rationed. Up until this point, Americans were encouraged to self-regulate and limit the amount of goods they consumed. This episode of The Aldrich Family was from January 29th, 1942.
Presents
Henry Aldrich.
Coming, Mother. The Aldrich Family, written by Clifford Goldsmith. Entertainment for all the family, brought to you by Postum, a tempting, wholesome drink for all the family. Postum. Good evening. This is Dan Seymour extending a hearty welcome on behalf of Postum. As you drew up your chairs to listen to the Aldrich Family tonight, you probably never gave a thought to the many other people doing the same thing. But there are millions of them, and they fall into all classes, rich and poor, old and young, men and women. Because it doesn't take any specialized group to appreciate the Aldrich Family any more than it takes a specialized group to appreciate Postum. Anybody who likes a good, lusty drink, a mealtime drink with real authority in it, can't help but enjoy Postum. Anybody who likes a distinctive drink will enjoy Postum. Because Postum has a very special goodness, a delicious flavor that stands right out because it's all Postums and only Postums. So when you want a mealtime drink that's sure pleasure, be sure to choose Postum. Next to actually being young again, there's no better way to recapture that feeling than to know a teenage boy like Henry Aldrich. For he acts just like you used to when you were that age. And so his troubles become your fun. The scene opens at the Aldrich breakfast table.
And here's a letter for you, Sam, and another for you.
Thank you, Alice.
Henry, here's one for you.
For me, Mother, for me.
Alice has an advertisement from some summer resort, Glimmer Lake.
Really?
Father, I certainly hope we aren't going away any place this summer.
We certainly are not.
And I agree with both of you.
Boy, do you know what I'm going to do? Well, gee whiz, imagine.
Henry, what's the matter?
Nothing, Mother. I was just reading this letter.
Well, please eat your cereal.
Yeah, sure, only... Here. Father, without looking at any of the rest of the sweater, can you make out this word right here?
Why, that's fiendish.
Oh, yes, of course. I thought it was friendly.
Mother?
Yes, Mary?
Was there any mail for me this morning?
No, dear.
Oh. Henry, who's that letter from?
Why, it's just hardly anything. Mary, will you please stop trying to read over my shoulder?
Henry, all I was doing was innocently looking to see whether you'd opened one of my letters by mistake.
Well, I haven't. You don't even know who this is from.
Hi, Henry. Are you through with breakfast?
Homer, where did you come from?
Johnson's Candy Kitchen. Hi, Mr. Aldrich. Want a piece of fudge?
What's that?
Go ahead. It has walnuts in it.
Homer, will you please take that bag from under my nose?
Oh, excuse me.
Homer, I could eat a little.
Henry, you will please eat your egg.
Can he have a little piece of fudge on the side, Mrs. Aldrich?
He may not.
Oh.
Mother, could I speak with Homer confidentially out in the hall a second?
Dear, you haven't even started your breakfast.
Mother, my egg is hot. See, I mean, it's not cold enough for me to eat, and I'd like to talk to Homer about this, well, about a certain matter, and...
Will you be right back?
Yes, Mother, I'll be out here in the hall for exactly 2 minutes and not 1 second longer.
What is it, Henry? Did your report card come?
Homer, look, it's a letter from a girl.
Who is she?
That's the beautiful part of it. I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
Oh, I know her. She lives over in Abbott City. Look at what she says. Dear Henry Aldrich, I suppose you will think I am very bold writing you a boring letter like this, but I'm simply so bored I can't help it.
What? What's the matter with her?
I guess you know your friend Nancy Adams, who was visiting here, and yesterday she happened to show me her school yearbook, and I said, "Who's that picture?" And she said, "Why, that's Henry Aldrich." And I said, "It's such a boring day, I'm going to write to him." And she said, "All right, I dare you." And I said, "All right." And here I am.
What's that?
Although I'm probably no lady for doing it.
Henry, let's see that.
Homer, will you please take your hands off it?
All I want to do is read it.
In the first place, Homer, some of it is confidential.
Read me some more. Read me some more.
She says, "You should certainly be glad, Henry, you don't live in this boring place. It's friendly. I mean fiendish. I can hardly wait until summer comes, and we go to beautiful Lake Passepartout, where there is something doing every minute. Where are you going to be this summer?"
Henry,
"Yes, Mother."
will you come back and eat your egg, please?
"Yes, Mother."
And tell Homer to wait out there.
Hey, Henry, could I be reading the rest of this?
Gee whiz, Homer, what do you think this is? Just public property?
Henry.
I'm coming right now, Mother. And boy, Mother, don't you think what Father said a little while ago was a good idea?
What he said about what, Henry?
About our going away this summer.
When did I say we were going away?
I thought you said... Well, gee, Father, don't you think this place is darn boring in the summer?
Boring? I thought you liked it here.
Mother, it's fiendish.
It's what?
Fiendish. In the summer. I think we ought to go to Lake Passepartout.
Lake Passepartout? I never heard of it.
Henry,
What, Homer?
are you sure you don't have anything I could be looking at?
No.
Now, Henry Homer is your guest. You go find him a magazine.
Yes, Mother, I'll get it for him right away. And, Mother, at Lake Passepartout, there's something doing practically every minute.
Well, there's nothing wrong with our home right here.
Hey, Henry, let me see just one more page of it.
Okay, Homer, if you'll promise not to handle it. Where were we?
At Lake Passepartout.
Oh, yeah. Oh, here's a good part. Boy, this is good. It is raining out. It has been all day. In fact, it's been raining most of this week. Is it raining in Centerville? Isn't it fiendish? If there's one thing I find boring, it's to sit indoors all day with nothing to do when it's raining.
That's very interesting.
Henry, Kathleen Anderson wants you on the telephone.
Who, me, Mary? Oh, well, tell her I can't talk with her. I'm very busy right now.
Go on, Henry. Why do you keep stopping?
Why, she goes on and says, "Naturally, I am anxious to hear all about yourself. As Nancy tells me, you are very interesting. Will you please promise to write? Please, oh, please, oh, please.
Oh, boy.
I hope I have not bored you. As ever...
Didn't she sign it?
Yes, but... Homer, can you make that first name out?
Let's see. I can figure out the last name, okay?
You can?
Yeah, Droopwater.
Droopwater?
That's what it looks like to me.
Homer, there aren't two O's in there.
Could it be Dropwater?
Well, I see what that middle letter is in the first name. It's T.
T? Could it be Walter?
Walter?
Walter Dropwater.
Why would a girl have that name? Oh, can't you see what it is? It's just as clear as day. It's Myrtle.
Oh. Myrtle Dropwater. Henry, tell me frankly, do you think you ought to write to her?
Why not? Just because... And besides, Homer, that isn't an O in the last name. It's an I.
A what?
It's Dripwater.
Drip.
Sure, not Drop. No wonder you had the wrong impression of her.
Drip.
Henry?
Yes, Mother?
Will you please go out to the kitchen and get your father a drink of water?
A drink of... Homer, that's it.
What?
It's Myrtle Drinkwater. Isn't that a beautiful name?
Sam, I don't like to bother you, but I do have something I'd like to talk over with you.
Yes, what's the trouble?
Well, it's about Henry. He's been so upset ever since he got another letter this morning. And about a half an hour ago, he asked whether I didn't think he should have his allowance increased.
Mother?
Yes, Mary?
Mother, did you know Henry got another letter this morning?
Yes, dear, we know all about it. Mary, turn around.
What for?
Dear, I think you ought to go down to the hairdresser.
Mother, aren't you interested? That letter was from some loan company.
Mary, what's that?
Where did you say it was from, Mary?
A loan company in Abbott City. I saw it right up on top of the page. And then he came to me and asked if he could borrow some money, and he was all excited.
Yes?
Father,
Sam, what do you suppose is the matter?
could I see a loan for it? Oh, hello, Mary. Hello, Mother.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, this is nice that we can be together. We very seldom get together.
Henry,
Yes, Father?
what was it you came in here to say?
Well, I'll tell you, Father. Oh, boy, I'll answer the door.
Henry, that's probably for me.
No, it isn't, Mother. I think it's someone to see me on sort of a business arrangement. Hello, Homer.
Hello, I tried to come in. What's the idea?
What's what idea?
Of keeping your door locked. How do you expect your friends to come in?
My father asked us to keep it locked every morning until he goes to the office. Listen, Homer, have you got the 35 cents?
Yes, here. Now, where's the letter?
Right here.
Hand it to me.
Oh, no, I didn't say I'd let you read it. I said I'd read it to you.
What does she say? What does she say?
Now, don't push me, Homer. She says, "My dear Hen,
Oh, boy.
I received your 14-page letter, and it was a whiz."
A what?
Never mind, Homer. I hope you will excuse my using my father's business stationery, but my new paper, which incidentally is a whiz, hasn't come yet. You have asked me to describe myself, and I'll do the best I can. Although there are some things I can't say because you would think I was terribly conceited. First of all, I am 5'9". Homer, could that be 9?
Gee whiz, Henry, you're only 5'8".
8 1/4, Homer. And besides, that isn't a 9, it's a 2. It's as clear as day.
Looks like a 9 to me. Go on.
I am 5'2" and have rather pleasing eyes, they say. Although I do wish at times my eyelashes weren't quite so long because they are always somehow getting in my way.
What does she have to do, comb them?
Homer, stop interrupting me. As to the color of my eyes, I wish you were here to judge for yourself. Some boys say they are gray. Some boys say they are green. Which do you like?
You mean you can have your choice?
Oh, Homer, lots of things change color in different lights. Where was I?
Right here. What color will you have?
Oh, yes. As to my hair, which is black, I have recently had done into a feather cut, which is a whiz, even if I do say so.
Henry?
Yes, Mother?
Are you busy?
Why, I'm carrying out a little transaction, you might say, with Homer.
Well, may I speak with you?
Right now, Mother?
Listen, Henry, you haven't finished reading it.
I'll be back. Gee whiz, what do you want for 35 cents?
Henry?
Yes, Mother?
Dear, I just want you to know that if you really need money and would be willing to tell your father what you need it for, he might see his way clear to helping you out.
Well, Mother, I appreciate your bringing it up, but you've got so many things on your mind. I think it would be best if I just didn't bother
Mother,
you.
do you mind if I make an appointment with a hairdresser someday this week?
No, not at all.
Well, Henry, Kathleen Anderson phoned you again.
She did? Gee whiz, I think Centerville girls are just boring.
Henry.
Yes, Homer, I'm coming. Mary, are you going to the hairdresser?
Yes.
Well, why don't you get a feather cut? Boy, that kind is a whiz.
A feather cut, Henry, after I've let my hair grow this long?
Henry.
I'm coming, Homer. Where was I?
She just gotten a shampoo or something.
You're crazy. Here's where I stopped. I think your idea of phoning me is a whiz. And I'll certainly be thrilled when I hear that old telephone ring. Yours hastily, Myrtle Drinkwater.
Henry, is her name really Drinkwater?
Why not?
Boy, do you think she could be part Indian?
Now listen, Homer.
What's that at the bottom of the page?
Oh, gee whiz, I hadn't seen that. Huh. Instead of your phoning me, why don't I phone you, as I never know where I'm going to be next. So I'll call you on Friday between 5 and 6.
You mean you don't need my money? Well, give it back to me.
No, Homer, I will not. Suppose she calls me collect. Don't you think she expects me to be a gentleman?
Well, if I'll let you keep it, can I be here when she calls?
No, Homer. Boy, just think. Tomorrow I hear Myrtle's voice for the first time.
Sam, have you thought anything more about our going away this summer?
Alice, I thought we decided not to go.
Mother!
Yes, Henry?
What time is it now?
It's exactly 20 minutes to 5.
Thank you, Father.
Alice, if you'd like to take a cottage someplace for a couple of weeks, I'm sure I have no objections.
Well, dear, somebody, I can't remember who it was, said something about Lake Passepartout being a nice place to go.
Lake Passepartout?
Well, somebody's mentioned it in the last couple of days and said it was wonderful.
Father!
Yes?
Are you sure your watch is right?
I'm positive. Will you please tell me why you ask what time it is every 60 seconds?
No reason, Father. I was just waiting for it to be 5 o'clock.
Henry, why do you have your new blue suit on?
Oh, gee whiz, I got that on. Is that the telephone, oh boy?
Henry, don't run.
Gee whiz, who put that chair there?
Henry!
I'm sorry, Father. I'll pick it up when I come back. Mother, just stay where you are, please. I beg of you.
Henry, what's the matter with you?
Nothing, Mother. It's just that... Hello, long distance?
What's that?
Homer, is that you? Get off the line. The phone just rang.
Sure, I'm calling you. Has she phoned yet?
No, Homer, will you please hang up?
Okay, and I'll be right over.
No, Homer, you're not to come over. I don't want you even around here.
Aren't you going to be talking to her on my 35 cents?
Homer, please, listen to reason. Look, If I'll tell you something she said in the letter this morning, will you stay where you are?
Is it any good?
Sure it is. It's a lot better than any telephone conversation would be.
Well, all right.
She says she wants me to come to a bow mask tomorrow night.
To a what?
To a bow mask. That's a masquerade party over in Abbott City.
Henry, do you think it's safe?
What do you mean safe?
Are you going, Henry?
Sure I'm going.
Henry?
Yes, Mother?
Dear, you have to hang up right this minute.
I will. Homer, my mother says I have to hang up, and I guess she's right. Goodbye.
Henry.
Gee, Mother, did you save my life?
Dear, I want you to jump on your bicycle and go right down to the meat market.
Now?
Right this minute.
But Mother, I'm expecting a very important... Wouldn't the government appreciate it if we didn't have meat tonight?
We didn't have any last night or the night before. Now, please start.
Well, couldn't Mary go?
Mary's down at the hairdresser's. And, Henry, if you can't help me out, I'll have to go and tell your father.
Well, yes, Mother, I'll go, only
Then please get started. The meat will be all ready for you.
Well, just as soon as I've... Hello?
Number, please.
Operator, this is Henry Aldrich. I'm expecting a very important call from Abbott City, see? And when it comes, could you switch her on to the butcher shop?
Now getting back to the troubles of Henry Aldrich. Just as Henry was expecting a long-distance call from a girl he has never met, he was suddenly and firmly sent to the meat market, where the scene now opens.
Hey, Mr. Wilson! Mr. Wilson!
Oh, hi there, Henry.
You have my mother's meat ready?
Here it is, right here.
Oh, boy, thanks. Has a telephone call come for me?
No, not since I've been on duty.
Gee, I'm expecting an important call. Oh, boy, there she is right now.
You better let me answer it first.
Well, okay, but tell her I'm right here, won't you?
Hello? Henry?
Here I am. Oh, boy, I guess I got here just at the right time, didn't I? Hello? Is this long distance?
It is not. Henry?
Father, is that you? Something happened to her?
Has something happened to whom?
Who's calling me?
I am. As long as you're downtown, I want you to run over to the Havens drugstore and get some cigars for me.
Now?
And hurry home. Goodbye.
But, Father, Oh, boy. Look, Mr. Wilson, when a long-distance call comes for me, could you tell them they can catch me over at the Havens drugstore?
I don't know why I couldn't. What's the name of the party that's calling?
Her name is Myrtle Drink... Why, she'll just ask for me.
Alice?
Yes, Sam?
Did you call to Havens and leave that message?
Yes, I did. What was it you started to say about Lake Passepartout?
Only that I'd heard of someone downtown who owns a couple of cottages up there.
Oh, that's fine, Sam, because I don't know whether it's just one of my premonitions or not, but it seems to me if we could get Henry away from this town this summer, he might not have quite so many problems.
Yeah? There goes the telephone again. I'll see who it is.
If it's Henry, tell him to please hurry.
Hello?
Is this Elm 303?
It is?
This is long distance. I have a call from Abbott City for Mr. Henry Aldrich.
Henry Aldrich isn't here right now. May I ask who the call is from?
Why, it's a party by the name of Drinkwater.
Drinkwater? Oh, thank you.
Sam, who was it?
Someone from Abbott City by the name of... Alice, I know who that was calling him. I know exactly who that was.
Who?
A fellow by the name of Drinkwater. And he's connected with that loan company over in Abbott City that Henry's been getting letters from.
Oh, my goodness.
Mr. DeHaven, are you too busy to wait on me?
I guess not, Henry.
Well, first there's a phone call come for me.
Yes, two of them.
Two? Long distance?
No, they were both from your mother. She wants you to get a quart of milk at the grocer's and then stop at the cleaner's and pick up your father's suit.
Oh, gee whiz. Oh, boy.
Just a minute, and I'll wrap your father's cigars for you.
Well, the only trouble is I'm expecting a call from a girl, and it's coming here to your drugstore.
Is that right?
There's a big masquerade over in Abbott City tomorrow night. And you know what I'm going to wear?
No.
A Confederate soldier.
What's that?
Oh, boy. Mr. DeHaven, could I answer your phone? It's probably... Well, it must be... Hello, is this long distance?
Hello?
Oh, Myrtle?
Hello, could you rush up a bottle of Paregoric right away?
Hello? Hello?
Hello, Abbott City Mortgage and Loan Company.
May I speak with Mr. Drinkwater, please?
I'm sorry, but Mr. Drinkwater isn't in right now.
Well, could you tell me whether my son has been trying to borrow money or owes you any?
What was the name?
Henry Aldrich.
Oh, well, we aren't allowed to give out confidential information, sir.
I know, but he's my son, and he's...
I'm sorry. You'll have to speak to Mr. Drinkwater personally, and he isn't in.
I see. Well, thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Sam, how much does Henry owe them?
She wouldn't tell me. She said As a matter of fact, I know what I'll do.
What, Sam?
Now, when Henry comes in, don't say one word about any of this.
You don't think we should?
I've got to drive over to Abbott City on some other business in the next few days anyhow, and I'll drop in and have a talk with Drinkwater.
Really?
Mother, did I hear Father say Abbott City? Is there a call for me?
Henry, when did you get back?
Just now. Where's the telephone?
Henry, I was simply talking about going over to Abbott City sometime.
Oh.
That's all.
Isn't that strange? Father, do you have any ideas as to when you might be driving over?
Oh, any time in the next few days.
Well, they have awfully good movies over there sometimes. Wouldn't you like to take Mother and go over tomorrow night and have a good time?
Saturday night?
Yeah, sure. And I might go along with you.
Well, we'll see. We'll think it over.
Oh, boy, there it is.
Henry, will you please walk?
Well, I don't want to miss it. Oh, gee whiz.
Henry, what's the matter?
Nothing, Mother. I just slid into the telephone table.
Well, get up off that floor.
I don't need to. I can talk right down here. Hello? Long distance? Long distance?
Hello, Henry. What did she say?
Hi, Mr. Johnson. I came in to see if you found that costume for me.
Yes, Henry, here it is. This lieutenant's uniform is the last Confederate outfit I have in the place.
Well, gee, that's exactly what I wanted.
That'll be $2.
$2? Just for 24 hours?
That's right.
Well, couldn't you let me have it for, say, $1 or $1.50 if I bring it back late tonight?
Well, how would you like to go as an 1890 policeman for $1.75?
Well, the only thing is my girl tried to get me by phone yesterday, and we couldn't get together, and I sent her a telegram that I'd be there tonight as a Confederate soldier.
She'd like you just as well as a policeman, wouldn't she?
The only thing is we've never met, and I don't want to confuse her.
Oh.
Can I use your phone a second?
Yeah, help yourself. It's right there.
Hello? Mr. Johnson, do I get a sword with that for $2?
The sword's 50 cents extra.
Oh.
Number, please.
I want Elm 787.
Elm 787.
Yes, please. Mr. Johnson, do I understand correctly it's 50 cents less without the sword?
Hello, Sam Aldrich speaking.
Father, don't you think a hat, a sash, a coat, pants, and sword are dirt cheap for $2.50?
What's that?
Just for one night.
Who is this?
It's your son, Henry. I have a chance to go to a costume ball tonight as General Lee for $2.50.
$2.50?
With the sword, $2 without.
Good. Take it. Only don't try to get the money from a stranger.
Where will I get it?
From me. Goodbye.
Well, gee whiz, thank you very... Goodbye. Mr. Johnson, I can take it. Mr. Johnson, where are you?
Hi, Henry. How do I look?
Listen, Ed Carney, what are you doing with that uniform on?
I'm going to rent it.
Eddie, I've already taken it.
You have not.
Eddie, give me that.
Now, listen, Henry, you take your hands off that.
Now, Eddie, stop pushing me.
Here, now, wait, boys. What's the idea?
Mr. Johnson, I want this uniform.
Mr. Johnson, I said I'd take it.
Well, Henry's right, Ed.
Now, give it to me, Ed.
Henry, for the last time, take your hands off me.
You make me darn you.
There.
Oh, take that.
Now, listen, Henry.
Now, wait, boys. Let's not have another war over this.
How do you feel, Henry?
All right.
Here, put this cloth on your other eye. Boy, did you take a beating.
But I got the costume, didn't I? And Ed Carney doesn't look so hot either.
Where's the costume? Let me put it on.
It's still down at Mr. Johnson's. After we got through, he said he thought it would look a little better if he gave it a brushing and pressing.
Henry?
Yes, Mother?
Here's a letter for you.
A letter for me?
Yes. Are you quite sure you feel well enough to go to that dance tonight, dear?
Mother, I never felt better in my life.
Well, you know best, I suppose.
Homer.
What?
Which is the front of this envelope?
You're looking right at it.
I am.
Henry, don't you think I ought to read the letter to you with your eyes feeling the way they do?
Now, Homer, I can read it perfectly all right. Dear Henry, as long as I know exactly what you're going to look like, I think it is only fair that you know what I'm going to wear. And so I'm enclosing a photograph of me in my costume. Gee whiz, where is it? Where is it?
There it is, right there. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Homer, will you let me see it?
Oh, boy, Henry, wait until you see it.
Homer, have I got to knock you down, too?
Here, take a look at her. Boy, is that a sight for sore eyes.
Gee whiz, Homer, is that...
Yep, Henry, Myrtle Drinkwater.
Why, no, but...
She looks like an icicle.
I know, Homer, but look at that face.
Henry, do you think that might be a mask that goes with the costume?
No, Homer, it's real.
Henry!
Yes, Father?
You going to be ready to go over with me? I'm leaving in a few minutes.
To Abbott City?
Yes?
Well, The only thing is, Father, frankly, I don't think I'll be going to that dance.
You're not going? Why not?
He's just had some bad news, Mr. Aldrich.
Henry, did I hear you say you aren't going?
Mother, my eyes are sort of tired, and I don't think I'd want to go over there and strain them.
Well, Alice, you better get your things on.
Sam, I don't think I want to take that trip either.
I know, but Alice, I've got to go over there and keep that appointment with...
Well, you go right on over and keep it.
Mother, if anybody phones for me this evening, tell them I've gone to bed.
Mary, aren't you going out tonight?
No, Mother, of course I'm not. I met Joe Graham on the street today with his feather cut. I haven't. He just laughed at me.
Well, frankly, Mary, I...
Now, Sam, let's not say anything more about it.
But, Mother, I don't blame Mary for feeling the way she does about it. I don't see why anyone wants to wear their hair cut that way.
Well, what I'd like to know is where I ever got the idea of doing it.
Alice, are you coming?
No, Sam, you go ahead.
All right. Oh, incidentally, I've got a cottage at Lake Passepartout this summer.
What's that?
Yes, it's a whiz. That is...
Sam, you didn't go and sign the lease, did you?
Alice, I thought you wanted to go there.
Dear, someone told me this afternoon we wouldn't like it there one bit.
Lake Passepartout, Mother? Why in the world we want to go to that place?
Well, that's what I'd like to know. They say it's simply fiendish. I mean...
Well, what I'd like to know is what I'm driving all the way over to Abbott City alone for.
Henry Aldrich will be back in just a moment. May we remind you, friends, there's a best way to do everything. A best way to build a bridge or make a suit of clothes, to bake a cake, or even to make a cup of postum. And the best way to make postum is to follow the directions on the package, because they're tested directions designed to make the most of that hearty, robust postum flavor. They give you a cup of postum at its delicious best. So always follow the directions to a swell cup of postum.
Ed Carney. I just wanted to tell you my father went down and had a talk with Mr. Johnson, and I'm going to wear that Confederate uniform after all.
You are? To the masquerade in Abbott City?
Sure.
And you're going Stan?
Of course I am. And if you show up, I'll knock your block off.
Well, as a matter of fact, let me give you a tip. If you get bored, look around for a girl named Myrtle Drinkwater. She's got a feather bob, and boy, she's a whiz.
Listen again next week, same time, same station, for another sparkling half hour with your favorite youngster, his family, and his pals. The Aldrich Family is written by Clifford Goldsmith. The original musical score is played by Jack Miller's orchestra, Ben Ludlow conducting. Your host tonight is Postum, and Postum is one of America's great mealtime drinks. It's good drinking. Good night.
That was the Aldrich Family from 1942, and now the Archies.
I saw her from the corner of my eye. Yeah, she looked so good I thought I'd die. My heart went bang, shang-lang, bang, shang-lang, bang, shang-lang, bang, bang. My heart went bang, shang-lang, bang, shang-lang, bang, shang-lang, bang, bang.
In this episode, they mention a couple songs. The Tennessee Waltz.
I was dancing with my darling to the Tennessee Waltz when an old friend I happened...
And A Bushel and a Peck.
I love you, a bushel and a peck, a bushel and a peck, and a hug around the neck.
The Quiz Kids was a radio program where highly intelligent children were asked trivia questions. And while you're listening to this episode, here's a quiz for you. How many times does a character say gee whiz? I tell you, I lost count. So here it is, Archie Andrews from 1951.
Hello? Hello, Jughead. This is Archie. Come over right away. It's a matter of life or death.
Relax, Archie. Relax.
Yes, here he is again, the youngster millions of readers of Archie Comics magazine know and love so well, Archie Andrews and all his gang. And now for our weekly visit to Riverdale. It's Saturday afternoon as we look in on the Andrews home, and we find Mrs. Andrews working around the living room, dusting the furniture.
I was dancing with my loved one to the Tennessee waltz when an old friend... What was that? Fred, is that you?
Oh, Mary, I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't.
What?
It doesn't feel like me, so maybe it isn't me.
Fred,
Ooh,
what's the matter?
I've got a headache.
A headache?
Yes, and please don't scream at me.
Fred, who's screaming?
You are. And quit clanking that feather duster around.
Fred, don't be silly. A feather duster doesn't make any noise.
Mary, maybe it doesn't to you, but it does to me.
Oh, dear, you do have a headache.
Well, I'm glad you discovered it.
Fred, when to start?
What difference does it make when it started? All I want to know is when will it stop?
Well, have you done anything for it?
No. What did it ever do for me?
Fred, this is no time for jokes. A headache isn't funny.
Mary, I didn't say it was funny. Do you see me convulse with laughter? Do I look highly amused to you? Do you think
Fred, never mind the sarcasm. We have to do something for that headache.
Mary, the only thing I want to do is sit very still and very quiet before my head falls off.
Fred, that's a good idea. Now, you sit right down and rest, and I'll go get you some aspirin. We'll have you fixed up in no time.
Oh, Mary, I don't want any aspirin. I just want some quiet.
Fred, you're making all the noise.
Oh, me. I guess she's right. I'm making all the noise. Ooh, my head. Oh, it sure feels good to sit still for a minute. Oh, no. Who the dick... It's Archie. Archie!
Gee whiz. Hiya, Dad. I didn't see you sitting over there.
I didn't see you either, but I heard you. Will you please stop making so much noise?
Why, is somebody sleeping?
Yes, me.
Huh?
I have a headache, and I can't stand any noise today.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dad. I didn't know.
It's all right, but now that you do know, please don't slam any more doors or sing any more songs.
Okay, Dad. I won't make a sound.
Fred, here's an aspirin and a glass of water. Oh, Archie.
Hiya, Mom.
Fred, take the aspirin.
Yeah, I had.
Archie, I have a message for you.
For me?
Yes, Veronica called a few minutes ago and said to tell you the date is all right.
The date is all right?
Oh, no. Oh. This is the end.
Gee, Dad, I'm sorry. I forgot all about...
I thought I told you I wanted quiet today.
Dad,
I thought I made it plain I have a headache.
Well, gee,
but
Dad,
does that mean anything to you? Oh, no. 2 seconds later, you start screaming your head off. And my head off, too.
Golly, Dad, I'm awfully sorry. No fooling. I really am.
Not nearly as sorry as you're going to be. Up to your room. You heard me? For being so thoughtless and so inconsiderate of how I feel, I want you to go to your room and stay there.
Oh, gee whiz, Dad, I can't. I gotta call Veronica back and tell her...
I'm warning you. I am in no mood for arguments. I said go up to your room, and I meant it.
Now, Fred, just because you don't feel well, there's no need to take it out on Archie.
Mary, I am taking nothing out on anyone. Going to his room won't kill him, and it'll teach him to do what he's told the first time. Now go, Archie.
She was okay, Dad. I'm going.
Fred, really? Aren't you being a little hard on the boy?
Mary, I am not being hard on him. It's high time that boy learned to...
Dad!
Oh, great. Yes?
How long do I have to stay up here?
An hour.
An hour? Dad,
Archie, I said an hour.
It was okay.
You see, Mary, just as I was saying, it's high time that boy learned to...
Dad?
Oh, no. Archie, what now?
How about half an hour?
Archie, I said an hour, and that's what I meant.
Okay, Dad, okay.
Mary, it's high time that boy learned...
Dad? 45 minutes?
Archie!
Okay.
And don't ask me again.
I won't, but even the state penitentiary gives you time off for good behavior.
Great. Mary, you see what I mean?
Fred, he only
I tell him
wants...
to be quiet, and he starts screaming his head off.
Fred, the
I tell
boy
him to go to his room for an hour, and he starts bargaining with me.
Dad, how about half an hour? How about 45 minutes?
Fred, I think...
Mary, that boy has to learn to do as he's told, or it kills him.
Fred, all right. So Archie needs discipline. I agree with you. But all I'm saying is sending him to his room for an hour just because he made a little noise is being too severe with him.
Mary, I am not being too severe. It'll do the boy good to spend some time in his room for a change. It'll do me good, too. The only way I'll get any peace and quiet around here, and by George, when I have a headache, I'm entitled to a little peace and quiet around my own house.
All right, dear, all right. I have much too much work in the kitchen to stand here arguing with you. I won't say another word.
That suits me fine.
What?
Nothing, dear, nothing. That woman, she hears everything I don't want her to hear, and nothing I do want her to hear. I have never... Well, what's the difference? Finally got things quieted down around here, and by George, I'm going to keep it that way, or my name isn't Fred Andrews. Call me Joe.
Fred, was that the doorbell?
Yes, dear, it was.
Oh, all right, dear. Thank you for answering it.
You're quite welcome. I'm answering it. Who's answering it?
Fred, aren't you?
I am not. I have a headache, and I'm going to sit still, remember?
And I have my hands full of soap, remember?
But I...
You told Archie to stay in his room and not come out for anything, remember?
But I...
And the doorbell is still ringing, remember?
But I...
So please go see who it is.
Oh, me. All right, Mary, all right. I'll go see who it is. But I know who it is. One of Archie's friends. Who else could it be? All right, I'm coming.
Hello.
Oh, good grief. Jughead.
Who'd you expect? The smiling Irishman?
No, Jughead, I did not expect Peter, Jughead, or anyone. Go away, will you?
Yeah, huh?
You heard me, Jughead. I said go away. Forgive me if I sound rude, but it just so happens I have a headache, and Archie's being punished and has to stay in his room, and you can't see him now, so just go away and come back later.
But I gotta...
Goodbye.
Fred, who is it?
Mary, it was Jughead, and I got rid of him.
Got rid of him?
Yes, got rid of him. I told him I had a headache and was in no mood for visitors, and I sent him away.
Fred, I hope he wasn't insulted.
Mary, I don't care if he was insulted. Let that kid into the house, and you're in trouble right away. I said I want quiet today, and that's what I finally got.
Well, all right, dear.
Boy. That's good.
Hey, Archie!
Oh, no. That's Jughead. He's gone around to the side of the house now. Well, I'll soon stop that. Hey, Jughead!
Hello.
What in tarnation do you think you're doing out there? Didn't I just tell you couldn't see Archie?
Yeah, but you didn't say I couldn't talk to him.
Yeah. Oh, great. Jughead, you cannot see, talk, smell, touch, or hear Archie. You understand?
But, Mr. Andrews, I gotta tell him something important.
Jughead, I'll important you if you don't stop shouting.
Gee whiz, okay.
Good. Oh, that Jughead. I've never seen anyone as difficult to keep quiet as that boy.
Dad! Did I hear Jughead calling me a minute ago?
Oh, fine. Archie, how could you miss it?
You mean it was Jughead?
Yes, it was Jughead.
What did he want?
He wanted to talk to you, and I told him he couldn't.
But gee whiz, Dad, it may be important.
Archie, I don't care if it is important. You're being punished, so get back in that room and close the door.
Gee whiz, okay. But even a state penitentiary lets you have visitors.
Archie, if you think you'd like the state penitentiary, you can go there. But not until you spend an hour in your room.
Gee whiz.
Even the state penitentiary lets you have visitors, he says. I don't know who's worse, Jughead or Archie. Together, they're impossible. Oh, sometimes I think kids that age should be... Oh, well, what's the difference? Might as well sit down while I have the chance.
Well, Fred, how's the headache now?
Oh, the headache is fine, dear, but I'm not. Mary, what the dickens is that?
This? A tray of food for Archie.
A tray of food? Mary, what are you talking about? We just had lunch an hour ago.
Fred, it was an hour and a half ago. And I'm just taking him some milk and cake so he'll know that even if he is being punished, we still care about him. A boy like Archie can be very sensitive, you know.
Oh, fine. Mary, when I was a boy and did something wrong, I didn't get sent to my room. I got taken to the woodshed. The only thing anybody gave me to show how they felt about me was the wrong side of a hairbrush. And believe me, I was sensitive, too.
Yes, dear, but times have changed, you know.
Oh, Mary,
we use child psychology today.
Mary,
You think I want Archie developing a resentment or a complex over this?
Mary,
You think I want him to grow up maladjusted?
Mary,
you think
no,
I
but...
want him to run away from home or something?
Mary! All right. I don't want Archie growing up with resentments or complexes or maladjustments either. And if you think an hour in his room is going to upset his whole delicate personality, unless you bring him some milk and cake, then by all means, take the tray up to him. Take 2 trays up to him. Take the whole dining room up to him. I don't care, but I don't want to hear any lectures on child psychology. All I want is peace and quiet. Peace and quiet, understand? Peace and quiet.
Fred, I understand perfectly. You're the one who started this argument, you know, not me.
Oh, me, you can't win. You just can't win. I send the boy to his room, and you'd think I'd send her to the electric chair. He'll get resentments. He'll run away from home. I don't know how these women get these ideas. What was that?
Fred, he did it!
What? Mary, what's the matter? What's the matter?
I told you he would, and he did.
Mary, I
knew it, and it's all your fault.
Mary, please.
I told you he would.
Mary, you told me he'd what?
Run away from home.
Run away from home? Mary, what are you talking about?
Running away. You see, he's gone, don't you? You can't lock a sensitive boy like Archie in his room and expect him to stay there.
Oh, good grief, Mary, he wouldn't. He couldn't. He didn't.
He has. I looked in every room up here, and he isn't here.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Archie, now you keep out of this. Mary, he could... I'm positive that boy hasn't run away. It just didn't like... Archie. Oh, no.
Archie, you came back.
Where the dickens have you been?
Gee whiz, Dad, no place. I got hungry, and I went down the back stairway to the kitchen for some milk and cake. It's good, too. You want some?
Oh, no, Archie, I do not want some. You see, Mary, I told you, you're making a big fuss over nothing. The boy hasn't run away at all.
Run away? Run away where?
Your mother was convinced you would run away from home.
Gee whiz, what would I do that for?
Ask your mother. She has all the answers to these things.
Fred, I'm awfully sorry. I guess I let my imagination run away with me.
Yeah, I guess you did. Now, for Pete's sake, would you please stop imagining things?
Yes, dear.
And as for you, young man, close that door and stay in that room and don't come out again for anything. Now, you hear me?
Gee whiz, okay, Dad. But even in the state penitentiary, they let you have something to eat.
Not an hour after lunch, they don't.
Gee whiz, okay!
Fred, I'm terribly sorry about this. Really, I am. I just don't
Mary,
know...
look, the less said about this, the better. All I want to do is sit still for a minute. Now, do you think this has taught you to stop worrying about Archie?
Yes, dear.
You think this has taught you to stop getting so excited about nothing?
Yes,
Do you think now I can have a little peace and quiet?
Yes, dear.
Oh, Mary, what's the matter now?
Out there, I saw it.
Saw what?
A pair of legs hanging outside the window.
Mary, what are you talking about? There's nothing hanging outside that window.
Fred, I tell you, I plainly saw a pair of legs with feet and everything, and they just disappeared up above the window.
Oh, Mary, I don't know what you're talking about, and I'll prove to you that there's nothing outside. Oh, no, Mary, you were right. It's Jughead.
Jughead?
Yes, Jughead. He stood on the trash can, and now he's climbing the drain pipe up to Archie's room.
Oh, for pity's sake, he isn't. Get him down right this instant. Get him down.
Yes, dear, yes, don't worry. I'll get him down. Just leave it to me. Jughead! He's down.
Oh, dear. Jughead, did you hurt yourself?
I don't know. But I sure didn't improve anything.
Well, thank heavens for that, anyway.
But whoever shouted at me like that darn near scared me half to death.
It says you're right. You scared us half to death climbing up that drain pipe. What the dickens are you doing up there, anyway? Didn't I tell you that you couldn't see Archie and you couldn't talk to Archie?
You didn't say I couldn't give him a note.
Yeah, give it... Oh, fine. Look, Jughead, you cannot give him a note, telegram, letter, cablegram, postcard, or smoke signals. You cannot communicate with him in any way. Now, you understand?
I understand.
All right, then pick yourself up and come in here.
Maybe I just...
I said come in here!
She was okay.
Oh, that jughead. Mary, I tell you, I have never in all my life seen anyone like that.
Dad, what was all that racket just then?
Archie, you never mind and get back in that room if you know what's good for you.
She was okay.
Mary, I tell you, something has got to be done
Now,
about...
Fed, don't start another scene about Jughead. You really shouldn't have scared him like that. He might have hurt himself.
Well, Mary, I had no idea he'd fall off the pipe, and besides, if I'd let him climb any further up, he really would have hurt himself. Did you ever hear of anything so stupid? Climbing the side of a house?
Well, then why didn't you let him go home?
I would have if I was sure he'd go. The next thing I know, he'd be climbing down the chimney or something. The only way I'm going to get any peace at all is to make him wait right here where I can see him until Archie's time is up.
All right, dear, but for pity's sake, don't let him get into any more trouble.
Don't worry, I won't.
Did you want to see me, Mr. Andrews?
Yes, Jughead, I do. Now, Jughead, I take it you want to see Archie.
Uh-huh.
Okay, then you will see Archie.
Gee, I will?
Yes, you'll see him when he comes out of his room in an hour, and no sooner. So please have a seat and wait. Quietly.
But I gotta see...
Shh, I said have a seat and wait quietly.
But I gotta...
Sit down!
I'll sit down.
All right.
Dad, did you say I could come down?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Now, Jughead, there's something I want to explain to you. I have a headache. Not serious, but annoying. And for some reason, the slightest loud noise is very unpleasant. So I came to the logical conclusion that the only thing for me to do is to sit here nice and quiet until my headache feels better. You understand?
Uh-huh.
All right. Then I don't want to hear a peep out of you or anybody else. And when Archie comes out of his room, then you and he can do whatever you want. Far away from here. But until then, I want quiet. Understand? Quiet.
I am utterly silent.
Good. Just stay that way. And... Oh, no. It's not Archie singing, it's the doorbell. If it's not the doorbell, it's Jughead screaming. If it's not Jughead screaming, it's my wife bawling me out. And if it's not my wife bawling me out, then the...
Telephone's ringing.
You keep out of this!
Okay.
Jughead, go answer that. I've got to sit down and before my head falls off.
Okay, Mr. Andrews, I'll get it.
Phone, doorbell,
Hello? This is Jughead. Oh, hi, Veronica.
Oh, fine, Veronica.
Archie's up in his room. No, he can't. He has to stay there.
Oh, my poor head.
Yeah, he's being punished. I don't know. I'll find out. Mr. Andrews, can Veronica talk to Archie?
No, Jughead, she certainly cannot.
Oh, okay. Hello, Veronica. Mr. Andrews said you can't talk to Archie now. I don't know. I'll find out. Mr. Andrews, can she leave a message for Archie?
Yes, Jughead, yes.
Okay. Oh, Veronica. Yes, you can leave a message. Okay. Mr. Andrews, Veronica says, would you please tell Archie she called?
Yes, Jughead, I'll tell Archie she called.
And ask him to call her as soon as he can.
All right, I'll tell him to call as soon as he can.
Because she wants to know if he got her last message about the date.
Yes, she wants to know if he got her last message about the date.
And if he did, why didn't he call?
If he did, why didn't he call?
Or doesn't he want the date?
That's all! Jughead, is this a message or Lincoln's Gettysburg Address? Hand me that phone.
Yeah, Mr. Andrews.
Hello, Veronica.
Oh, hello, Mr. Andrews.
Veronica, look, I don't mean to sound rude, and I think I am an enormously intelligent human being. But not even the quiz kids could remember a message like that. And I have a headache, and I can't stand this relay system. From you to Jughead to me to Archie. So would you please do me a favor and come over later and tell Archie everything you want to tell him face to face?
Oh, my goodness, I'm sorry if I bothered you, Mr. Andrews. Of course I'll come over later.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And I hope your headache is better.
It will be, Veronica, just as soon as I get off of this phone.
Oh, all right. Bye now.
Bye now. Bye now, she says. Oh, that Veronica. I never have seen...
Who was that on the phone?
Mary, if you must know, that was Veronica.
Dad, who was that on the phone?
Archie, if you open that door once more before your hour is up, I may keep you there until you're 70 years old.
Oh, she was okay.
And you'll be quiet, too.
I didn't even say anything yet.
Well, don't even look like you're going to. Maybe now I can possibly sit down for just 1 minute until this head stops throbbing. I don't believe it. Jughead, was that the front door just then?
Uh-huh.
Well, Jughead, I wonder if we could try a little experiment, you and I.
Yeah?
Now, you go and answer the door and speak to whoever is there very softly. And let's see if we can't get rid of whoever it is there very quickly and with no raising of voices. Now, do you think we can do that?
Sure.
Good. Then go answer the door, please.
Okay.
And remember, no raised voices, Jughead.
Okay.
Jughead, what are you doing here?
Oh, no. Her voice was ever soft, gentle, and low, an excellent thing in woman.
Not so loud, Betty. Come on in.
What are you whispering about?
Mr. Andrews wants me to. It's Betty, Mr. Andrews.
Hello, Betty.
Hello, Mr. Andrews. Well, what's everybody whispering about? Is somebody sick?
No, Betty, no one is sick. We're just having a quiet mood right now. Aren't we, Jughead?
Uh-huh.
Now, just what did you want, Betty?
Well, Mr. Andrews, I'm doing my algebra homework now.
Yes, Betty.
Because I'm going shopping with Mother in a little while, and I have a date tonight, and I'm going to Newton Center tomorrow, and this is the only time I have to get it done.
Yes, Betty.
But I don't know which examples we're supposed to do.
Go on. There's more to this, I'm sure.
Well, Archie's in my algebra class, and I wanted to ask him what the homework is.
That's what I thought. Well, Betty, dear, you can't.
I can't. Why not?
Because Archie is up in his room and can't come out for anything, not even algebra homework.
But I've got to ask him.
Betty,
He's the only one who knows what our homework is.
Betty,
and I've got to get it done right away, or I won't be able to do it at all.
Betty, don't start.
And if I don't get it done, Miss Pringle will be furious with me.
Now, Betty, please, please. I can't stand crying. Now, cut it out. Don't. Please, stop. Betty! It's all right. All right, you can talk to Archie.
I can?
Yes, Betty. Yes, you can. I'm sure talking to him won't make nearly as much noise as your howling like that.
Oh, golly, thanks a lot, Mr. Andrews. I'll go up and see him right now.
Betty, no.
What?
No, you can't go up to see him.
Why not?
As a matter of principle. I haven't let anyone else go up there, and I haven't let him talk to anyone. I am trying to teach Archie the meaning of discipline. So if you must talk to him, call up the steps and ask him what you want to know.
Oh, okay, Mr. Andrews.
But, Betty, just ask him one question now and one question only. I want no chit-chat about school or dates or dances or anything else.
Well, sure, Mr. Andrews. I only want to ask one question.
All right, now go ahead and hurry up.
Okay. Archie! Archie!
Betty, is that you?
Uh-huh.
Gee whiz, how'd you get by my father? Has he gone out or something?
No,
Why,
he's
that old
not.
sourpuss wouldn't let anyone talk to me.
Archie, I still happen to be here.
Yeah? Gee whiz, you are?
Yes, I are.
Well, I was only kidding, Dad. I knew you were there all the time.
Never mind the alibis and answer, Betty.
Answer her? But she hasn't asked me anything.
Well, I want to, Archie. What algebra examples are we supposed to do on page 12?
Page 12? Betty, we're not supposed to do any on page 12. We're supposed to do the first 12 on page 10.
We are? I thought we were supposed to do the first 10 examples on page 12.
Oh, fine.
Oh,
Betty,
no, Betty, I'm sure it was the first 12 on page 10.
Betty,
But
please.
I'm sure the teacher said something about doing 10 examples.
Oh, that. She said if we wanted to, we could also do the first 10 examples on page 11.
Betty, would you...
No, Archie. She said the first 11 on page 13.
Oh, Betty! All right. I can see I made a serious error by hoping you could conceivably ask Archie one simple question and get one simple answer and then leave the house quietly. I don't care whether you do the first 12 questions on page 10 or the first 11 questions on page 12 or all the questions in the whole book. You can't talk to Archie anymore.
But I still don't know what we're supposed to do.
Betty, I'm sorry, and I know what I'm supposed to do with this headache. I'm supposed to have absolute quiet, and that's just what I'm going to have starting right now. You understand? Nothing but... Oh, no. Oh, what the dickens is that now?
Sounds like Veronica.
Oh, great. Well, I'll soon put a stop to that. Veronica, cut that out.
My goodness, is Archie still in his room?
Yes, he certainly is. And is that any reason to blow that horn like that?
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Brandon, but I'm in a hurry, and I thought I could see Archie for just a minute.
Well, you can't. His time isn't up yet, and I haven't let Jughead or Betty or see him, so I don't see why I should let... That's funny.
What's the matter?
Betty, where'd she disappear to?
She was here just a minute ago.
Thanks a lot, Archie.
That's okay, Betty.
Betty, where the dickens were you?
Oh, I just went upstairs for a minute and got the homework assignment from Archie.
But I thought I told you.
No one is allowed to see
Now,
Archie.
Veronica,
I've been waiting for half an hour.
Jughead,
What's all the noise
out here.
Mary,
I only
would-
wanted to get the homework.
Betty,
A
just...
likely story.
Veronica,
Fred,
please.
don't make a scene.
Mary,
I blew up the drain pipe trying to see him.
Jughead, will you...
What's all the rumpus about?
Now, just a minute here. Just 1 minute. Now, that's better. Now, all of you, listen to me. This nonsense has gone far enough. Too far, in fact.
Yes, dear.
Half an hour ago, I happened to have developed a bad headache. And I wanted a little peace and quiet. That's all I asked. Just a few minutes till my head stopped hurting. Now, is that asking too much?
No, dear.
You're darn right it isn't. But I can see now I made a very serious mistake. I tried to make Archie stay in his room as punishment. But with the assortment of friends he has, that was the most foolhardy thing I could have done. I can now see that there's only one thing for me to do. Archie,
Yes, Dad.
do you think you've learned your lesson now?
Yes, Dad.
Do you think you can be less noisy around this house hereafter?
Yes, Dad.
Do you think you can show some consideration for other people's feelings?
Yes, Dad.
All right. In that case, you don't have to stay in your room any longer. You may go out with your friends.
I can go out.
Young man, you march right upstairs to your room this minute. See what
Fred,
out there after the speech I just said to you. Get out to your room.
The Andrews will be back in just a moment. But first, here's a nifty way to accomplish two good things with one simple trick. And here's what you accomplish. First, you make your future more secure. Two, you make a real contribution toward building a stronger defense for America. Well, how do you do it? Oh, it's simple. You buy a United States defense bond. Then buy another, and another, and another. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. In 10 years, you get back an extra $1 for every 3 that you put in now. And while you're building your own security, your money helps toward building America's defenses. So get at it, won't you? The best way is through the payroll savings plan where you work, or the bond-a-month plan at your bank. So get it started, and remember, defense is your job. Buy United States Defense Bonds. And now, back to the Andrews. It's a few minutes later, and Mrs. Andrews has just talked Mr. Andrews out of sending Archie back to his room.
Well, all right, Mary. All right. Maybe you're right. Maybe the house will be quieter if Archie just goes out with his friends.
Oh, sure it will be, Dad. We'll go right now.
All right. Now, before you go, there's one question I must ask. I know that Betty came over to ask about some homework, and Veronica came over to ask about a date. But Jughead, what the dickens did you want to see Archie about?
Well, I just wanted to tell him I couldn't play ball with him this afternoon because my father said I have to spend the afternoon in my room for making too much noise.
Oh, no!
You've been listening to another chapter of The Adventures of Archie Andrews, written by Carl Jampel and based on the copyrighted feature appearing in Archie Comics magazine. Archie is played by Bob Hastings, Jughead by Harlan Stone, Mom and Dad Andrews are played by Alice Yearman and Arthur Cole, Veronica and Betty by Gloria Mann and Rosemary Rice. This program is produced and directed by Kenneth McGregor. Listen next Saturday at the same time for more of the merry adventures of Archie Andrews. This is Dick Dudley wishing you a very pleasant weekend. So long, everybody.
That was an episode of Archie from 1951, and now one more episode of The Aldrich Family. They don't know what the date is for this episode, but it's definitely in winter.
And now for the Aldrich family. The actions of a teenage boy are about as explosive as a thunderstorm. They never cease as long as he has an ounce of energy to draw on. And with Henry Aldrich, there are usually a few extra ounces in reserve. It is Saturday morning, and the scene opens on Homer Brown's front veranda.
Homer, look at it this way. It's January.
Stand back, Henry. You're crowding me.
And what better month is there to go fishing in than January?
Henry,
can't you see I'm busy washing storm windows?
But think of it, Homer. You cut a hole in the ice, see, and you sit there, and the night's frosty air. Oh, it's not too frosty, just healthy.
Henry, why should I go sitting around in the air when I can watch storm windows for my father?
Homer, do you feel well?
Yeah, will you step aside? Boy, after all my father's done for me, it's the least I can do.
But, Homer, think of the size fish there must be in Fletcher's pond. They've been growing ever since summer.
There's no use asking me, Henry. When my father wants me to do something, boy, I certainly wouldn't let him down.
What? Homer, are you sure you feel well?
He's right in the living room there.
Oh, he is?
Sure, listening to every word we say. Can't you see he's left the window open?
I don't see him.
Well, he's there. My mother finally put her foot down on these windows.
What?
I'm washing the outside, and my father's washing the inside. And we can't leave until they're finished.
Homer, what are you whispering about?
Father, Henry was just... I'm not whispering.
How do you do, Mr. Brown?
Henry, would you mind not confusing Homer? He can only think of one thing at a time. Right now, he's supposed to be on the window.
Father, Henry was just on his way home.
I was?
Goodbye, Henry. Get busy with that sponge, Homer.
Listen, Homer, suppose I go in and have a word with your father.
What about?
You know, an appeal to his better nature.
Henry, you're licked before you start. I mean, he's pretty determined to get these windows done.
Well, it's worth a try anyway.
Watch your step, Henry. He's pretty busy. And call me if anything happens.
Oh, Mr. Brown, are you washing the windows?
Of course I am.
In that easy chair?
Well, I just want to get the perspective from back here before I start.
Oh.
Hand me that darn sponge.
Mr. Brown, you're quite a fisherman, aren't you?
What's that?
What I mean is, fishing is good in spring, sure, but don't you agree there's no month like January?
For fishing?
Sure. Don't you agree that that's when the fish are biggest?
Yeah?
Well, they've had since summer to put on weight.
Yes, I never looked at it that way.
Sure. I'll bet if you went down to Fletcher's pond and chopped a hole in the ice, you could catch some whoppers.
Yes, I bet you would at that.
You mean you agree with me, Mr. Brown, that a person should take advantage of a thing like that?
I certainly do.
Oh, boy, thanks. Hey, Homer, come here.
What, Henry? What'd you say?
I fixed it, Homer. Your father agrees that this is a perfect day for fishing.
He does? Boy, Father, you mean I don't have to wash the outside of the windows?
Of course you do.
What?
And the inside, too.
Listen, Henry, I thought you fixed it.
And get busy right away. I have to speak to your mother.
Just think, Father, in January.
Henry, I don't want to speak to you again about your feet. Why don't you run along and let me finish?
My feet, Father? Are you afraid they'll get frostbitten?
I'm afraid they'll get chopped off.
Oh, sure, I'll stand back.
Thank you.
Boy, look at that ice fly.
And if you could find time to shovel this front walk regularly the way you're supposed to, the ice wouldn't form like this.
I realize that, Father, and I'll certainly see to it that I do it after this.
Good.
And speaking of ice, Father, how about it?
How about what?
Going fishing.
I'm sorry, Henry, but I can't find the time today.
Couldn't you chop the ice some other time?
Not very well.
Well, couldn't you...
Henry, I tell you, I can't get out of it. Your mother's keeping an eye on me.
She is?
Don't look now, but she's right there in the living room window.
Oh. Hello, Mother.
Henry, I hope you aren't slowing up your father.
No, Mother, I'm helping him.
You are?
Sort of.
Sam!
I'm stopping, Alice.
Sam! Sam, Mary said you wanted on the phone.
Oh, thank you. Here, Henry.
Gee, Father, what do I do with this?
You can chop with it.
Oh, here he comes now, Mr. Brown.
Oh, is it Will Brown?
Yes, Father, I told him you were busy, but he said this is very important.
Hello.
Hello, Sam. Do I understand you're tied up today?
Well, I'm doing a little cleaning up outside.
Oh, then it's something you could get out of?
Well, as a matter of fact, what's on your mind?
Sam, what do you say we go fishing?
What's that?
Well, there's no better month to go fishing than January.
But Will.
You know, you cut a little hole in the ice and you sit around in the nice frosty air.
What made you think of that, Will?
I heard somebody talking about it. Come on, Sam, what do you say?
Well, it's a temptation, I'll admit. The only thing is, I have this work I should do, and...
Oh, do it tomorrow.
Well, you see, Alice wants... Naturally, I don't have to do it.
Naturally. It's like I was just saying to Elizabeth. Who pays the bills around here anyway?
Did it work?
Well, no. I finally said I had to go out for some cigars.
Cigars, eh?
Yeah. I'm down at the drugstore right now with my fishing tackle.
Well, I'll meet you there in 15 minutes.
Right.
Right.
You're going to meet him where, Father?
Why...
I thought you promised Mother to chop the ice on the front lawn.
Why, Mary, who pays the bills around here?
My father.
That is, I think I'll go out and get some cigars.
Darn it all, anyway.
Hey, Henry.
Is that you, Homer?
Okay, Henry, let's go.
Where?
She was, where do you think? Fishing.
Fishing? This is a fine time for you to decide that. Just when I have to chop up this darn sidewalk for my father.
Where's your father hiding, Henry?
He isn't hiding anyplace. He was called away on a very important conference.
He was.
And besides, I thought you had to stay home and wash windows.
But I don't anymore. My father went off someplace, so I threw in the sponge and left.
Darn it all, anyway.
You really can't go.
Homer, do you know how long it's taken me to chop this little bit of ice?
How long?
Well, it's going to take me all day to finish it.
Gee. If your father shoveled his walk once in a while, you wouldn't have all this ice.
Oh, gee whiz. What are you eating?
A piece of ice. It just flew in.
Listen, Homer. Listen, if you think you can stand around all day eating ice when I'm breaking my darn back...
What are you getting at, Henry?
The least you could do is help me.
Well, why should we both break our backs? Unless... Say.
What?
Listen, maybe we can still go fishing. Have you thought of hot water?
Hot water?
Sure. You have a hose, haven't you?
What? Sure thing.
It'd melt this ice in no time.
Well, gee, what are we standing around for? Feel that breeze, Will?
Yes, sir. It really keeps you on your toes, doesn't it?
Incidentally, how are your toes?
Oh, they're fine, Sam, as long as I keep wiggling them.
Hand me the saw again. Let's see if I can get this hole a little bigger.
Sure, you couldn't catch a minnow through a hole the size of that.
The trouble is getting it started, Will. Once I get the saw down in there, we'll be fine.
Say, I got an idea.
Yeah?
Have you got a penknife on you?
Yeah, certainly. Here.
Now, if I can just chip a little more ice off, I think we can get the saw in there.
Good idea.
Yeah, that's getting it, Sam.
Do you mind if I run around a bit while you were doing that?
You're not cold, are you?
Of course not. Just a little stiff. I'll be right with you.
All right, flap your arms, Sam.
Hey, well done, this Will. Makes you feel like $1 million.
Say, Sam.
Yes, sir.
Sam, did you attach any sentimental value to that penknife?
Will, you didn't drop it through.
Well, now, don't worry. I'll get it back.
How?
I'll have Homer come out in the summer and dive for it.
That's a fine thing.
Now, wait a minute. Hand me my line.
What for?
Well, it's got a good big hook on it. I think I can fish around and hook the penknife.
I doubt it, but here.
Look, you go on flapping, Sam. I'll drop this in and give it a try. There.
You feel anything?
No, not yet.
Well, let's just forget it.
Hey!
Will, get up off the ice.
Sam, I got one.
You got the penknife?
No, I got a fish. Look at that shadow under the ice.
Good heavens, it's a monster.
What do I do?
Land it.
Well, how can I land it? Look at the size of the hole.
Now, wait a minute, Will. Don't get excited.
Don't just stand there. Saw the hole bigger.
I can't, Will. We'll have to cut the line.
Well, do something, Sam. Do something.
Homer, stop shivering and stand still.
Listen, Henry, take it easy.
You're rubbing the back off me.
Well, I have to get you circulating again, don't I?
Oh, can't you use a softer towel? That one feels like sandpaper.
Wait, I'll go to the linen closet and get some more towels.
You're going to leave me alone in your room with just a sheet on?
Well, then wait, I'll find you some clothes.
And all I can say is the next time you hose the sidewalk, I hope you have a little more control.
Gee whiz, Homer, it was your own fault.
My fault?
Sure. Didn't you come right out and say, turn the hose over here, Henry?
Sure I did. I didn't say turn the hose on me.
And then you jumped right in my way.
Oh, boy. You know how I feel about Fletcher's Pond?
How?
I've had enough water for one day.
Well, you know what I was just thinking?
What?
See, if it's no fun chopping ice on your own sidewalk, think how much tougher it's going to be out on Fletcher's Pond.
Sure. You stand around and break your back, and then some fish comes along and splashes ice water all over you.
Sure. And your mitts freeze to the line.
Sure.
And right here at home, we've got a fireplace and lots of wood.
Boy.
Then we can sit in front of the fire with a comic book.
And a skyscraper sandwich.
Sure.
Sure. Can I have some underwear? Henry! Gee whiz.
Wait a minute, Mary.
Henry, Mother wants to... Are you making a tent in here?
A tent, Mary?
I thought I saw...
Never mind. What do you want?
Mother wants to see you down in the living room.
She does? What for?
I don't know, but you better come right down.
Mary, can't you even give me a hand?
Mother!
Mary, I don't think I've ever been so furious in my life.
Why, Mother?
Just look out the window here. Look at the condition of our front walk.
My goodness, it's a solid sheet of ice.
The postman just slipped and fell right on his mailbag. And your father promised me faithfully he'd have all that ice cleaned off today.
Mother, if it's about your guest towels, I give you my
Henry,
word.
please put your coat on.
We're going out?
You are, dear. I want you to go straight out to Fletcher's Pond.
Well, Mother, I've changed my mind.
About what?
I don't want to go to Fletcher's Pond anymore.
Well, I want you to, and you're to tell your father to come home immediately.
Father? Father's at Fletcher's Pond?
Yes, dear. Mrs. Brown and I are positive that's where they went.
He's having his conference there?
What conference?
Well, gee whiz, he said...
Henry, he's out there with Mr. Brown, fishing.
He is? Well, I'll be darned.
Anybody home? Hey, anybody home? Where's the fire, mister? Oh, I'm sorry to be so noisy, but this is an emergency. Have you got an axe? Why, sure. You want to come in? No, I can't. I have to get back down to Fletcher's Pond. Well, what's the trouble? My friend and I went down there fishing, see, and all of a sudden there was this big fellow splashing around, and my friend is hanging on for dear life, and the hole isn't big enough to pull him out. You don't say? Yeah, and man, is he struggling. If we don't get him out fast, we're going to lose him. Now, look, you find an axe around the side on a block. Oh, fine. Thanks a lot. You get right down there and don't worry. Arthur, get a big pot of hot soup and some blankets. Get them down to the pond right away. Wear my boots and jacket, quick. And you better get me a rope. The fellow down there's falling through the ice.
And now getting back to the troubles of Henry Aldrich. Henry, in trying to talk Homer into going fishing through the ice, has succeeded only in selling both their fathers on the idea. So far, the men are having difficulties landing their fish, and the boys have been sent out to find them. The scene opens at Fletcher's Pond.
Hurry up, Will. I'm freezing to death. Now, listen, Sam. I got up to that farmhouse and back as quick as I could. Well, at least you've been moving. Here, you hold the fish line and let me some. Now, that suits me. Oh, boy, it's good to sit down. Get your feet out of the way, Will. My feet are all right. Let's hurry and get that fish out and get home. Well, be long now. Who's that? Look, Sam, it's a lady of some kind. Have we seen who, ma'am? What's that?
Up at the north end of the pond, and we've been looking all over, and we haven't been able to find him anyplace.
Well, say, we've been here for over an hour. We haven't seen anybody around here.
My heavens, I have this hot soup and these blankets.
Look, are you sure it was Fletcher's Pond this man fell into?
Why, I thought it was.
You don't think he could have gone through up at Birch's Creek? Sure, if he isn't here, he must be up there.
Well, then we better get up there right away. I'll go and get my husband.
We haven't time. Come on, Will, on your feet. But, Sam, what about our fish? We can't worry about that now. Tie the line to this tree over here, and we'll come back for it later.
He was dirty.
Well, nothing looks familiar anymore since it started to smell.
Listen. We don't find our fathers in about 5 minutes. I'm going home.
But, Homer, maybe they're lost. Look, Homer, where are you?
I'm down here. I could.
Oh, here, I'll help you up.
Henry, you know what I think? I think we're lost.
How could we be if this is Fletcher's pond?
But, Henry, I just tripped over a fence.
What?
There aren't any things to do on Fletcher's pond.
Homer, this isn't any fence. It's a piece of string.
Now, listen, Henry, I'm not that weak.
But look, Homer. Look, it's tied to a tree.
It is?
And it's jiggling.
Henry, you're crazy.
Wait while I follow it along. It's definitely jiggling.
Gee whiz, you're right. Wait till I beat some of the snow away.
Look at this. It goes down through a hole in the ice.
Henry, look.
What?
There's a fish on the end of it, a great big fish.
Well, I'll be darned. Pull it out.
Man, the hole isn't big enough.
Oh, gee whiz, look what's here under the snow.
What?
And that.
Henry, it's a miracle.
Either that, Homer, or it's a dream.
Even if it is, let's chop a great big hole and get that fish out before we wake up.
Well, if you'd turn around and walk frontwards, we'd get there a lot faster.
Look, you walk your way, Sam, and I'll walk mine.
Now, granted, the snow's blowing into our faces.
Yes, and I've walked into all the trees I'm going to walk into.
You're still bumping into trees, walking backwards.
I can stand it better that way.
Anyway, here's Fletcher's pond.
Boy, I'd like to get my hands on the guy who started us on this wild goose chase.
Well, we pretty well had to go. Well, suppose somebody really had fallen through the ice.
We had to go, sure. I wouldn't have minded going up there and taking a quick look around.
Now, our fish line's around here someplace.
That woman insisting that we hunt for 3 solid hours. I tell you, I don't think I'll ever thaw out.
Do you remember what tree we tied our fish line to?
Oh, look at that. Look at that snow all over the place.
Now, Will.
Even if we do find the tree, how are we going to find the fish?
Well, if we can only keep our sense of humor, we'll be all right.
What?
Things aren't really so bad. As a matter of fact, look.
Where?
There's our tree. I distinctly remember that broken branch. Now, hole in the ice can't be too far from here.
Oh, we'll never find it in this snow, Sam. A tiny little hole like that.
We'll find it, all right.
Look! Sam! Will! Move me out!
Does that fire feel good?
Would you like some more hot soup, John?
I sure would. But be sure to keep that blanket over your shoulders now, Martha.
Oh, I will.
We'll be lucky if we don't both catch pneumonia. When I think of going over Fletcher's pond, inch by inch.
And, John, if you could have only seen those poor men hunting with me up there at Birch's Tree.
Now, who would that be?
Well, you going to answer?
I guess I better.
Well, sorry I'm not getting the draft on.
Yes, come quick, mister.
Oh, it's you again.
Hurry, bring those blankets and hot soup. My friend just fell through the ice.
Oh, yeah? Well, tell it to the Marines.
What?
If you think I'm going to fall for that story again, you're crazy.
Oh, Houston!
Just look at him, Mother. Isn't he a... My goodness, Henry, that's the biggest fish I've ever seen.
We just weighed him, Mrs. Aldrich. He's 8.5 pounds.
You caught him all by yourself?
Well, we didn't actually catch him. If you were Mrs. Aldrich, you wouldn't believe it. But we were walking along in the middle of nowhere, see? And all of a sudden, there he was, tied to a tree.
Now, Homer.
Honest, Mother. Hey, Henry, we haven't measured him yet. Oh, boy, come on. I bet he's 2 feet long.
You had to swing it around like that, dear?
Did we have him mounted, do you think? What? Did we get to eat him?
Henry!
Sam, is that you?
Alice, where's Henry? I just keep your sense of humor, Sam. What happened to our front walk?
Sam, what happened to you?
Let me tell you something. A few minutes ago, we started up the front walk, and I mentioned to Will how happy I was to get home. When all of a sudden, there we both were, flat on our backs. Who turned our front walk into a skating rink?
Sam, that tough walk is your own fault. And may I ask whose clothes you're wearing?
They're my own, Alice. It's just a little shrunk, that's all.
My heavens, you're soaking wet.
All right, right out of it in the car.
But Sam...
All right, Alice. All right, forget it. Just forget everything and let me lie down here. Move over, Sam.
Well, I'm certainly going to get you some blankets. Father!
Henry, come in here.
Sure, Father. What do you think of this? Floor. Do you want to get it dusty?
Henry, where did you get that fish?
We found it, Father. Sure, out of Fletcher's pond.
What's that? Fletcher's pond.
Father, is that you on the floor?
Henry, was that fish by any chance tied to a tree? What?
Well, how did you know?
Well, what do you know about that? In that case, kindly give it to me.
You want to have a good look at it, Father?
It happens that that fish belongs to Mr. Brown and to me.
Oh, no, Mr. Aldrich.
Oh, yes, Homer. I'm sorry, boys, but we caught it and we tied the line to the tree.
But, Father, even if you did, we landed it.
Henry, someday I'll tell you what we went through today because of that fish. I'll hand it over to you.
But, gee whiz.
Henry!
Here, Father.
Well, let's see it, Sam. Let's have a good look at it. Isn't he a beauty? Oh, boy, he must weigh 10 pounds.
8.5.
Come on, Homer.
Where?
I don't know.
Homer, why don't you go along with Henry and stop asking questions? Well, do you think we should mount him? Who, Homer? All right, Alice. Here, hold the fish, Will. I'll be right back.
Sure. And, Sam, we ought to take a picture of it, you know.
Hello.
Hello, is that Mr. Aldrich?
Yes?
I understand your son caught a fish.
No, sir. My friend and I caught it. It's our fish. After what we went through today, I'd like to see anyone else claim that fish.
That's very interesting.
Oh, say it's a beauty. A 10-pound bass. Let me tell you how we caught it.
You can tell me all about it in my office at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Who is this?
The game warden. You're not allowed to catch bass in January.
Now, wait a minute.
Will anyone have another piece of fish?
I will, please. I paid enough for it. I might as well enjoy it.
Hasn't this been some day, though, Hen?
I'll say, I don't mind a bit you're taking the fish away from me, Father.
Oh, that's fine.
I've got something much better. Homer and I were cleaning the fish tree, and boy.
What a day for a miracle.
I'll say. Guess what we found inside it, Mother?
What, dear?
It's something I've always wanted, a penknife.
What's that?
Thanks for listening to Gee Whiz. I'm John Henderson. If you'd like to send me a message, you can find me on Twitter at ThisDayBenny.